South Africans lit TikTok on fire, and it all started with a parade, but not just any parade. The Zulu Parade in New Orleans. Now, for those who don't know, the Zulu Parade is part of the legendary Mardi Gras celebration. It's been around for over a century, and it's historically led by the Zulu Social Aid and Pleasure Club, a predominantly black organization that has long-standing cultural roots in New Orleans.
It is very unfortunate. People in South Africa don't even know what's going on in their own country, to the point where an American can make a statement about something that their own government is speaking about, and many of them said, I've never heard that. That is alarming. Now, I know nothing about how advanced South Africa is. I don't know if you guys have the internet. I don't know if you have electricity. I really don't know. But for things to be that low, where you don't even know that they're talking about a universal basic income in your country, it makes me wonder, do you guys have access to the internet? Do you have access to information, or is that being suppressed in your country? And if it is, it's up to you to figure out why that is. You should be in the loop. It's your country, not mine. So you're right. Why does everyone know things about South Africa that South Africans don't even know about? You're asking the wrong person. I want to know why too. So when you find out, please do wet this video, or anyone who finds out in South Africa why they don't know what's going on in their own country, do wet this video and let me know. Because it shouldn't take for an American to report on something for you to get the information. And we're millions and millions of miles away. It's not.
He's talking about the 350, friends. He's talking about the 350 Rand a month. And the reason we are not on the same page as this person is because he's using the term universal basic income. And when we look at 350 Rand, or that's now been increased to 370, we think grant, not income. Now, there have been a few political parties who have spoken about the universal basic income grant, but that's been a varying amount depending on which political party you are referring to. And it has been outlined in most of their manifestos. But if we are specifically talking about the current ruling government, that being the ANC, then we are talking about the 350. That being said, I wouldn't take somebody too seriously who doesn't know if we have access to water or the internet or not. Not that we don't have issues in providing water and internet access, but just that he hasn't taken the time to educate himself on it before making the video. That and the fact that he also thinks our countries are millions of miles apart. Low-key, as a country, I feel like we've reached our quota of interactions with the US for the year. Can we like just blue tick each other for the rest of the year? Can we do that? Come, you just leave us alone, and we'll leave you alone.
So to all the African Americans, since you guys love parades that celebrate complicated histories, we as South Africans have collectively got a brilliant idea, and we're gonna throw a Thanksgiving Day parade, but it's gonna be a little bit more authentic, to honor the true spirit of the holiday. I mean, I can just picture it now. So 1 minute you're gonna have cheerful pilgrims waving at the kids, and next, like, literal genocide. Oops. But I mean, it's tradition, right? And I mean, you can't be sensitive about this, because I mean, it's just a fun way to remember history. I mean, isn't that what we're talking about here? And it can't be offensive, because I mean, unlike your parade, ours is actually historically accurate. Also, it's not about the past, it's about gratitude, right? I mean, you guys celebrate this every year. Almost like your trauma is sacred, completely overlooking the absolute tone-deaf nature of this entire holiday. But like somehow ours is a costume. That's a weird double standard, don't you think? Because I mean, you guys love rewriting history. Thanksgiving is all about the turkey and family, but let's be so for real. How is that different from New Orleans reducing Zulu warriors to grass skirts and blackface? Oh, right, because it's your culture. You can sanitize, we can't sanitize yours, but you can mock and caricature ours? To my fellow South Africans, let's really consider this idea. We can call it like colonizers' delight. It could be, I mean, a money maker. Or is that too much? Oh yeah, I forgot. We aren't exactly tone deaf and we actually do respect other people. But look, it was a joke, right? But I mean, this is exactly what they told us about the Zulu Parade when we raised the issues, right? And it's funny how the logic only works when they are the ones laughing. Let's be clear, if we did what America does to everybody else, then it would be called hate speech. But when they do it, I mean, it's all about respecting their traditions. Baby, that's not solidarity. That is a colonizer's brain. And guess what? It's contagious because clearly you all have caught it. So bravo, America, you have turned victims into perpetrators. Slavery, genocide, cultural erasure, and now you are out here cosplaying other people's trauma like it's Comic-Con. But hey, at least you're consistent. Hypocrisy is like your brand at this point. So yeah, guys, if you think this is a good idea, we should put something together. We can start selling tickets. I don't know, because now I'm sure this joke is gonna be way too real and way too offensive. Let's just wait for all the response.
Yo, guys, by now we all know about this whole Zulu Parade in New Orleans thing. By the time it clocked on my radar, which is basically the same day, you guys were already in this thing. The war cry had been sounded, and you guys were in there. So I was like, okay, it's fine. You guys have got this. But I wanted to go and see like how much damage. Because you know, us South Africans, when we band together for something like this, then the guys, they better think twice. So I wanted to go and see how much damage you guys have done. You guys have gotten a lady by the name of Shakina Montgomery to switch off her comments on every single video she has ever made. And every video I see, I go and have a look, everyone's like, tell Shakina to put her comments on. Oh no, well done guys. Hey, well done.
Americans love talking about freedom of speech and defending it, right? Until like you criticize them. Because let's talk about this Mardi Gras Zulu Parade. You know the one where you guys dress up in grass skirts and blackface and act like complete clowns? With Zulu warrior costumes and just making an absolute caricature. You know the ones where South Africans are calling it racist? And this is exactly why you guys and your outrage is just a joke. And look, I'm not cancelling history. I mean, I know the Zulu Parade was born from resistance, right? But you need to understand that intent is not like equal to impact, right? If a community says this hurts, do you dismiss them or do you listen? Kind of reminds me of how people once defended blackface as just like harmless theatre. Sounds familiar? It should, because like you're now doing the exact same thing to a living culture. I mean, imagine if South Africans decided to throw a Thanksgiving Day parade, right? With pilgrim hats and genocide reenactments and American accents. You guys would lose your minds. But then when you do it, it's tradition. Like, at this point, the hypocrisy is so loud. And be so for real. I mean, if this was like a white frat with these costumes, you would cancel it like immediately. But because it's black Americans doing it to black Africans, suddenly it's reclamation. Nah, this is like a level of supremacy, and you're essentially acting like a colonizer, right? And you're just feeding off somebody else's pain to feel woke. I mean, South Africans are screaming this is offensive, and your response is crickets. Or worse, you don't get it, or you get it, but you don't give a fuck. You just hate being called out, right? I mean, with your cancel, you guys invented cancel culture, and yet you are so deserving of it right now. I mean, like, bravo, America. You've literally mastered the art of performative wokeness, right? You tear down a Starbucks over cultural appropriation, hypothetically. But, like, you will defend literal blackface because it's your tradition. I mean, what's good for you, but not good for us, right? I mean, it must be nice. Like, can we just drop this actory? And if you're mad right now, it's because you know I'm right? I mean, you're okay with punching down as long as it's not like your culture on the chopping block. But here's the thing, if you want world respect, or you want Black Lives Matter to be understood, and you want everyone to understand why saying all lives matter is insulting, then stop treating African cultures like your dress-up closet. So yeah, go ahead, type your angry comments, call me divisive, but ask yourself, why does pain only matter when it's yours? Drop your excuses. I'd love to hear the double standards.
I'm back again. So, this is what I think is so interesting out of this whole thing happening with South Africa, Zulu Parade in New Orleans, yeah? The best thing that has happened so far is we have one warrior princess fighting for South Africa, and that has triggered something, a chain reaction from the whole African Union. Like, everybody's popping out, like everybody's coming out for South Africa now, you know. And I mean, Cameroon is there now, Togo is there, Kenya is there, Gambia is there, Zimbabwe is there, Nigeria is there, Ghana too is putting their head though. And from what I see, our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean as well, like, they look like they want to be part of this. You guys should just ask for forgiveness. Stop playing with South Africans.
Hey y'all, for those who may not know me, my name is Nia, born and raised in the DMV, moved to South Africa 8 years, been living there ever since, so let's get into it. So I heard about this topic on, I don't know, Twitter, on X, and the topic is quite perturbing. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let me get 2 quick pics in the... Donnell, that's you?
I know y'all saw that. I might be late to the trend or whatever the heck is going on, but come on now. Where does the word Zulu even come from? Is it Zulu? Are we going to talk about that word? The fact that it's a whole language. The fact that it's a whole nation of people. You know what? I'm even about to bring a real Zulu up on here. Once again, let's talk about it. Wait for him. Ma'a.
Yeah.
Can you even believe? Ay.
Ngeke bona le ndaba yenu nithi amaZulu ase-America la iyabheda yonke le nto le. Mina ngikutshela ngami kumZulu ngempela ishobo lembuzo emhlophe sithini isiqepezana umlungu umnyama uqapha.
Umlungu.
Ungapha bekhalelwe izimbanje ngithi inkunzi ye-stimulate demarcation. Let me not finish ngoba hey.
Hit him with the Zulu step, Ma'a. Hit him real quick. Hey. Yeah. And that's and that's light because we in the airport.
Yabo.
Impela. Ay, suga.
I say it's notice or not, but that means that our country got something nasty planned for.
Firstly, this is quite possibly the most uneducated, conspiracy-laced nonsense I have seen in a long time. You're connecting an online cultural conversation to an actual immigration crackdown. Come on now. I mean, firstly, let's be clear. South Africa is a sovereign nation, not a suburb of the US. You can't just deport us or inflict, I don't know, something terrible on us. I mean, ICE doesn't have jurisdiction here. And I know America is very well known for their invasions and their, need to intervene in the affairs of sovereign nations. But listen, your theory is that this is some sort of karmic echo from a war between black Americans and Latinos, and you're confusing your online bickering with geopolitical strategy. I mean, you think the US government sitting there and checking out this Twitter beef, this isn't a Marvel plot, this is real life. Also, I don't understand how you don't fucking get it by now. The parade, the Zulu Parade in New Orleans, yes, it's offensive. No, it's not an honor. It's blackface. It's feather-wearing mess of stereotypical caricatures of black people. The fact that you're so proudly defending it fucking says so much about you. There are literal, actual Zulu people living in South Africa right now telling you it's offensive. It's like me making a mock of you and then you telling me I really don't like that. And I'm I don't give a fuck. That's exactly what you're doing. But you're so brain dead that you're just not interested in engaging with the criticism, but you're out here suggesting that instead America's gonna do some sort of genocidal thing to South Africa because we dare to speak. And the wildest part is that you think that this is because we fought with black Americans, because your fucking government loves black Americans, right? I mean, there's no issues that you guys face. I don't know, systemic racism, police brutality, economic exclusion. Come the fuck on. How can you be this unaware and this ignorant to be this confident to say this shit online?
Hi guys, I'm in South Africa and they've got a grocery store. Look at all the fresh fruits. Look at that. They've got a grocery store in South Africa. I mean, look at everything. Fresh bread. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, it's humongous. It's gigantic. It's huge. They even have frozen stuff. And it's not smelling. There's no load shedding. Everything is working, as you can see. Just look at it. And this stuff is cheap. It's like $2. You know, look at how big this place is. They've got grocery stores in South Africa, guys. Just look at it. This place is humongous, guys. It's gigantic. It's better than some of the places in America. I mean, they even have chocolates. Who knew they have chocolates in Africa? They got chocolates, guys. Look at that. Look at that. This is like $1.50. It's very cheap. Very cheap stuff. So Africa, babe. They got grocery stores, organic fruits, everything. You gotta come to the motherland, guys. You gotta come to the motherland.
This whole Zulu Parade situation has made me start seeing that Black Americans should not be allowed to identify as African Americans if they're not willing to put in the work to uphold African dignity, African traditions, and African culture. Because honestly speaking, a lot of Black Americans actually don't care about Africa, right? Black Americans only associate with Africa when it's trending, right? When it's in fashion. That's what they do. They use Africa as a costume to make themselves look cool. They don't care about putting in the work, right? They use Africa as a statement. That's exactly how the Zulu Parade came about. You know, a couple of Black Americans thought, you know what, we're gonna use the whole Zulu tribe as a statement, not caring about the cultural representation of the Zulu people. They just wanted to, you know, make a nice little cool event for themselves. That's why I also feel like the introduction of the term African American that was introduced in 1988 by Jesse Jackson, it created more problems than solutions, right? Because Jesse Jackson, obviously, he wanted, you know, Black people in America to have some sense of belonging to culture. You know how they have, you know, Irish American, Italian American. They also thought, let's also have, you know, African American. But the problem is, as I said, you know, these Black Americans, they just don't care about culture, and they're misrepresenting Africa. And Africa already deals with enough misrepresentation by white media, but it's hurtful. It's hurtful when the misrepresentation comes from the very people that somewhat look like us. And you know, the craziest thing you will see is when Africans are now trying to correct Black Americans to say, listen, you're misrepresenting African culture, you need to make some changes and adjustments. Then you get Black Americans telling Africans to say, you don't know anything about your culture, you need to go on Wikipedia. You're telling that to the actual Zulu people. I kid you not. In the comment section, there's some Americans that are talking to actual Zulu people, and they're telling those Zulu people that they need to go on Wikipedia. And then I'm gonna get some Black Americans who are gonna be like, why are you attacking all Black Americans? It's only New Orleans that pissed you off. That's because it's not just the Zulu Parade. I've been seeing the misrepresentation of Africa from Black Americans for quite some time, for as long as I've been on this planet. Through your movies, through your fashion shows, through your celebrities, through your events, through my interaction with some of you, you've been misrepresenting Africa, and it needs to be stopped. It needs to be stopped. I must say that we need to look into retiring the term African American. We have to look into it, and especially if people are not willing to put in the work to uphold African dignity. As I said, they shouldn't have the ability to claim that they're African.
So to my South Africans, love you, beautiful people, rich in culture, huge hearts. Stop arguing with Black Americans from New Orleans. Stop. And to my Black Americans, stop arguing with people from fucking South Africa. Knock it off. Because I want y'all to get up And I want y'all to look around. Who do you see? Because I see a puppet master in the making here. You can't tell me otherwise. There was some kind of CIA agent that has tainted the pool, and now everybody fighting with each other. You got South Africans saying, well, we don't back down. Ask the Nigerians. I'm sorry, what the fuck is going on? Wake up! Wake the fuck up! Pissing me the fuck off. All of you. Stop this nonsense immediately. Look at who you're arguing. It's disgusting. Look at yourselves. Both parties. Making fun of the other person. Oh, well, we're the least colonized. Well, we're the least colonized. Who the fuck cares? Both of y'all, and me included. My country, we've been colonized. Just like you. Because guess who's pushing this argument? It's the Europeans, bruh. Come on. Come on. We both must do better than... I will never hate Africans. No matter what they say. Because I know at the end of the day, that's the colonizer speaking. That ain't you. Wake up. Us going back and forth, arguing with each other. How we look. How we think. Our history. Comparing it. There ain't no fucking comparison. There will never be a comparison. Because we're not the same. What's the common denominator with Africans and Americans? That's our enemy. Not each other. I don't want to see this shit anymore on my page. Unacceptable from both parties. Yes, I said both. I'm holding both people accountable. Knock it the fuck off. You got the Europeans and the Asians laughing their ass off. Watching us tear each other down to the bone. Because South Africans and Black Americans, especially from New Orleans, both ain't gonna back down. So what do you think we're gonna have a war? To prove who's better? Please, y'all. This is really breaking my fucking heart. We gotta stop this shit today. I don't want to see it no.
Here in Africa, we don't know what's electricity. We control the sun at any time. You see, it's night time now, but the sun is here. Sun off! Sun on! Sun off! Sun on!
This video is for Black Americans. Don't argue online with South Africans, and here's why. I just saw a video by one of our African sisters in Christ, and she broke down the difference between us and them, and she put it in terms that we could understand. Take a look.
Dear African American brothers and sisters, whatever you do not get into any kind of social media wars with Nigerians, South Africans, and Kenyans. It's like a mixture of Florida, New York, Chicago, and Ohio mixed together. Listen, for those people, hell, there's no bottom to hell. If you go low, they go lower. Why would you even start with them?
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend. And she is the moment.
I saw this video, and when she said New York, Chicago, Miami, Atlanta, and even Ohio, I'm like, she has a point. Because at a certain point, the conversation is not even to actually prove that they're right. The conversation is just to be right. And it has gone to the beneath the hell. The floor is hell right now in my comment sections. And I'm like, what is going on? But I'm like, oh, these are the Brooklyn girls. These are the Opalaka, Miami-Dade girls, people. These are the Chicago, South Side YNs. And it makes sense what she said, because then I've seen a bunch of Kenyans in the comments just being like, we ride for y'all, and then jumping in. And I'm like, how y'all jumping on the playground fight and y'all wasn't even on the playground?
But it's above me now. It's above me. She called me a but it's above me.
Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Because at this point it's comical, but it's really fucking crazy. So guys, don't argue no more. Let it rock. Thank you so much, my sister, for making that video. It put it in perspective that I could understand. Thank you. Thank you.
And this is where the problem starts, because you want to place more value on your issues and your struggles than anybody else's. As Africans, we're telling you our traditions, our cultures are important. They are a serious issue, and you are making a mockery of them. Not even just that, you're making a mockery of yourselves and Black people in general. But that is the hill that you've decided to die on. Like, do you automatically lose self-awareness when you move to the US, or does that just happen over time?
Hey LaQuisha, Keisha, Daquan. leave the Zulu name out your damn mouths, okay? Focus on the fact that your lives depend on the whims and moods of the boys in blue. This New Orleans Zulu Parade, it's not on, okay? You are messing with the wrong country. South Africans will come for you. So South Africa is not a place to play with. My people are not a people to play with. I'm Xhosa, and if you know anything about the Xhosas and Zulus, not the best of friends, but you know what? I will stand up for my Zulu brothers and sisters, because like LaQuisha, you need to focus on getting your baby daddy out of jail and leave my Zulu brethren alone. Am I being clear? Do I need to say it again?
Serious question. Are South Africans okay? We've all seen the dialogue going back and forth between South Africans and Black Americans in regards to the Zulu Parade that happens during Mardi Gras in Louisiana. We've all said that that culture is practiced by a specific subset of Black people in America, which is exclusive to Louisiana. But I did not think that that would be lost enough that you guys will come back and make fun of slavery. Slavery. The craziest part about this video to me is that, one, it's not doing what you intended it to do. Two, you're making fun of all African Americans when we've all told you that only a subset of African Americans in Louisiana practice the Zulu Parade. I hadn't heard of the Zulu Parade 72 hours ago, just like you haven't heard of it. Majority of Black people in America have no idea what the Zulu Parade is. But now you've come with this xenophobic video making fun of our ancestors' journey to America via the slave trade. You're making fun of the rice in the hair, which moms put rice and braided rice into their daughters' hair to give them escape routes. This is funny. Even if you did feel that the Zulu Parade made a mockery of the Zulu people and made a mockery of who you are, and you have every right to do so, to make a video making fun of slavery does not equate you being offended that you feel like your culture is being misrepresented. I fear we have lost the plot completely. This will be the last time I even acknowledge South Africans online, because I feel like they're akin to British people. They hate Americans so much that they are waiting for the opportunity to be xenophobic and to call people dumb. I'm appalled. I never in my life would I think I would see other Black people making fun of Black people for being slaves. Y'all got it.
Yeah.
Mark, what? Let me tell you something. I can say one. You want me to go home and get the gun?
You look more of an African than we do. That's because I don't bleach.
I'm more African than you, but you look more African than me. I think we will call this a conundrum. Yellow bone.
South Africans, or should I say specifically Zulu people, I don't understand why you're not understanding the African Americans from an African perspective. You know what is going on with those people. They are like that child that is born under special circumstances and they don't get to find out who their father is, who their name is, who their ancestors are, what their totem is, and they do not know who they are. Now their underground gang is busy calling them, but they don't know how to answer, and they have so many things going on in their lives and so many things are going wrong and they don't know how to fix it because they don't know who they are. And because they were raised elsewhere and they had no other choice, they now decided to call themselves by a different name, and they chose the Zulu, but they don't even know what the Zulu is or what it's about because they don't know who they are.
Sounds so cool to come together, and united we shall stand higher.
I dispute our. This parade was able to bring white, colored, Indian, black people in SA of different tribes together. Not only that, the whole of Africa came together. Not only that, Nigeria! It's like we're going to fight with you guys. Do you understand what? Not only that, I saw comments from people from the Caribbean islands, from the UK, from Canada, all over the world. Like you said, guys, just apologize, guys. That's the thing as well. Like, I think it's gone too far because people started by saying, "Hey, yo, guys, your parade. Hey, just, either change the name or dress accordingly." Like, Black Americans came in fighting. Okay, not all of them, but a lot of people came in fighting. Hey, we ain't gonna change nothing for y'all. We've been doing this for 100 years. My brother, my sister, the Zulus. We don't even try Zulu people. I don't play the game. It's in Zulu. Yo, did I even say that right? But we are Zulu until further notice, even if it's until next year. We'll take a break on Heritage Day because but anyway,
لوت نكا
Real quick, to all the African Americans supporting the whole Zulu Parade, and to all those people who are part of that whole Zulu Parade thing,
Where's my apology? And you're not getting one. Why not? Because I don't like you. Oh, good. This is a mutual thing. Yeah, never. Go f yourself. You can yourself.
Oh my God, you guys, come on, we can't talk like that. Don't talk like that to each other.
Shut up. You shut up.
A lot of South African disrespect comes from generalizing all Black Americans because of a Zulu parade that the majority of Black Americans don't know about. You are still responsible for what your brother does, especially when it has to do with another tribe. You cannot run away by saying we didn't know, because when you joined the fight, you dehumanized us. You dehumanized us, turned us into monkeys. Instead of saying to your own Black American people, that ain't right, dog. Don't do that. Instead of standing up for what is right, you chose to go with your tribe. We did not disrespect you. We showed you our pain. We showed you our grief. And you fought hard. You fought back. You said, we have the right to treat you like animals who don't think it's our right because we are superior. That's what you all did.
I have to give an opinion about the Black Americans and South Africans war. This is a big brother. This is two brothers fighting and telling each other a bit of truths. It's funny. I know I've been laughing all through. The comments are hilarious. The conversation between the Black Americans and the South Africans. Hell, that's a crazy conversation. But let's look at it like this. These are two brothers, telling each other some truth. Black Americans, I think it's time for you to reflect. There's a lot of truths that you've been told about America. I think America is not what you make it to be. And of course, South Africans and us Africans, I think it's also our time to reflect. But surely, I think you need to take this whole fight to change a few things about yourself. But after all is said and done, I think all Africans are one. We should come together let's just fight, let's end it, but let's come together and build together as one. Africa, there's nothing black, there's nothing Sijui South Africa, Jamaica, Africa. An African is an African regardless of your location.
This is what Zulu people look like, apparently, according to African Americans, or at least some African Americans. That's why there's this big row going on social media between African Americans and black South Africans, particularly Zulu people. And it's because of this parade. I just learned of this. Apparently, every year in New Orleans, there's a Zulu Parade. And how it started dates back more than 100 years ago. Black people weren't allowed or couldn't take part in Mardi Gras celebrations, and so they created their own. And that's how the Zulu Parade was born. It's a big deal, apparently. But the criticism towards this is, well, we have Zulu people, actual Zulu people, 10, 11 million Zulu people in South Africa, and they are outraged because understandably, it's not a true reflection or depiction of their culture. African Americans, the very same people who complained when Tyler referred to herself as a colored woman, are not backing down. They're saying this tradition is not going anywhere, it is here to stay.
Everyone heard of this America versus South Africa and the Zulu Parade in New Orleans. Firstly, I just want to tell you it's Zulu, not Zulu. And then secondly, I saw that some gypsy woman threatened us with voodoo. We eat voodoo for breakfast. My bra, julle gaan getoer word. Yo, are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm not sure if y'all seen this, but this girl posted this video. She's African. I'm not sure what tribe she's from or where she's from in Africa because she only posted, Africa on her content, and I didn't stay long. But I just want to say that what she's doing is in poor taste, definitely. And I have a few points I have to touch on, and y'all like to click off real fast. So let me just get to it. So what they're failing to realize is that in 1909, when the parade got started, possibly, just possibly, that our ancestors during that time was far closer to their heritage in Africa than what we are in 2025. So when they did it in 2025, because it is a celebration, it wasn't as, it doesn't look back then as it does now, because the African Americans now are so far removed from our African heritage and culture, right? So in 2025, it does look bad from this side of the town, because I'm from Florida. I'm a Floridian born and raised, and it does look bad. It looked just as bad as the professional teams. You know how they had to switch because their mascots was Native Americans, and Florida State University need to also change their mascot from being Seminole because you are cosplaying natives and it's ugly. But yeah, going off on a tangent. But yeah, I think this conversation could have been had in a more intelligent way instead of doing this. Because, baby, if you was over here, you would be in the same position as us. And if you was to come over here thinking you're better than Black Americans and you run up in the wrong town, guess who you're going to call? The African American people who ancestors used to pick cotton for help. Because they don't like you either. And it's such an ignorant thing to do. It's such an ignorant stance and point of view to do. And it's so disgusting to see the comments of other Africans in the comments. Oh, well, the Americans must be asleep. Oh, they must be that. Or y'all think that y'all more educated than us. You think you have more truth than us. Where is it? And it's so funny is that We are raised to be happy to see other black people. Don't y'all get in the comments talking about in elementary you was called names, because I was called everything too. I was called Blackie. I was called everything because I'm dark skinned. So I was called the same things that you were called if you came over here. The same things. So let's not talk about that. All dark skinned people was called that. I promise you. Everybody has a story. So don't talk about what happened with you in elementary. But yeah, this is ugly. It's very ugly. And maybe New Orleans should think about switching it, because it does look like it's in poor taste in 2025. It does. Just
so they can lie that they do not bleach, they just look light skinned, right? And
I didn't want to join this whole Zulu Parade beef that's going on. But one thing that I hate is someone who sounds very uneducated and does not know how geography works, because this is simple geography. Some South Africans are light-skinned because we are further from the equator, and I feel like you don't know what that is. So let's have a little geography lesson, okay? The red line is called the equator. All the countries that are around or the closest to the equator are hotter, and the people in those countries tend to have darker skin tones, okay? Let me show you why. Now let's take a moment to read. Areas that have a higher amount of UVR have darker skinned populations, generally located nearer the equator. Okay, so let's go back to this one. As you can see, South Africa is at the bottom. So all countries at the bottom of Africa and at the top of Africa, or countries with the populations tend to have lighter skin, because we are the furthest away from what? The equator. Okay, now let's take a look at this. This is a chart regarding all the skin colors in Africa. As you can see, South Africa is yellow, and the top of Africa is also yellow because we are the furthest away from the equator. This is common sense, I fear. So this also just sounds like projection to me, because who's bleaching? It's simple geography, I fear. And also, I'm not saying that there are not people who are bleaching, but don't generalize the fact that all light-skinned are bleaching. That's not true. Also, you talking about tribes. What do you know about tribes, babe? Like, Indonesia's a tribe win. You know nothing about our tribes. So, anyways, as I said, I'm not joining this. I just wanted to make sure that you understand a little bit of geography.
Sounds great, right? But this year, it got messy. Real messy. Because TikTok saw something, and it didn't sit right with a whole lot of people. People started uploading clips from the parade, showing men in blackface, wearing grass skirts, and handing out coconuts. Yes, coconuts. And if you've never seen it before, it's jarring. Black Americans across the platform were outraged, confused, and in some cases, downright disgusted. They were like, how is this okay? How is this not offensive? Who approved this? And that's when the storm began. Comment sections blew up. Stitch videos dropped every hour. Everyone had an opinion. The main question floating around: why are black people in America celebrating themselves in a way that looks, well, like a minstrel show? But before anyone could even catch their breath, here came the twist. South Africans jumped in. Oh yes, South Africans weren't having it. TikTok became a cultural battleground. Videos started pouring in from Johannesburg to Cape Town, Durban to Soweto. South Africans were like, hold up. Y'all don't even know your own history, and now you're coming for ours. The energy shifted real quick. See, from the outside, a Zulu parade might look like a mockery. But when South Africans saw the backlash, they didn't just react, they educated. They broke it all the way down. And let me tell you, these weren't just passive comments. These were full-blown dissertations, delivered with attitude, charisma, and zero patience for ignorance. One South African TikToker said, if you think Zulu means blackface and coconuts, then you clearly need to visit Africa. You don't know us. Boom. Mic drop. Another user said, you think this is offensive? My ancestors wore those outfits with pride. Our traditional gear is not a costume. It's who we are. Now pause. Let's get into the meat of this. The word, Zulu, in South Africa is not just a name. It's an identity. The Zulu people are one of the largest ethnic groups in the country. Their traditions, language, dress, and music are rich, vibrant, and steeped in history. So when South Africans saw that the Zulu Parade was being dragged, they felt like their entire culture was under attack. And then came the ultimate clapback. South Africans started showing up in their traditional attire, on TikTok. Videos flooded the timeline with women in colorful beaded necklaces, men in animal skins and shields, dancing, chanting, proud and bold. They turned the controversy into a cultural showcase. You couldn't scroll for 5 seconds without seeing someone proudly saying, "This is Zulu. And we are not your stereotype." Meanwhile, Americans watching from the sidelines were like, wait, so the Zulu Parade in New Orleans has nothing to do with real Zulus. And that's where the confusion kicked in. Because the truth is, the Zulu Social Aid and Pleasure Club in New Orleans was inspired by Zulu warriors after one of the founders saw a performance back in the early 1900s. But what started as an homage over 100 years ago has morphed into something wildly different today. It's a blend of satire, performance, and local tradition. But here's the kicker. Some parts of it, like the blackface and Gras skirts, haven't aged well. At all. And this is where South Africans were like, you can't call this Zulu. That's not us. They didn't just reject the criticism. They rejected the entire premise of the parade being tied to their identity. Then the debate deepened. Black Americans were saying, we're tired of being portrayed like this, even by our own. While South Africans clapped back with, then don't blame us for how you portray yourselves. Things got heated, but something beautiful started to happen in the middle of all that fire. Conversations. People on both sides of the Atlantic started talking. Really talking. Africans explaining the meaning behind their traditions. African Americans sharing the trauma of blackface and minstrel history in the US. The cultural gap was real, but suddenly, people wanted to bridge it. And the more people learned, the more the tone shifted. There was less shouting and more understanding. Less finger pointing and more, okay, I see where you're coming from. One South African creator even said, we don't do blackface. We are black. That's our skin. That's our heritage. What you're doing in New Orleans isn't Zulu. It's a parody that went too far. Meanwhile, Black Americans were starting to acknowledge, yeah, maybe we've lost touch with where our traditions come from. Maybe we need to reconnect. And that's where this controversy did something unexpected. It became a bridge. A painful one, sure. A messy one, absolutely. But a bridge nonetheless, because it forced a conversation that was long overdue. See, the African diaspora is vast and complicated. Black people in the US and black people in Africa don't always see eye to eye. The histories are different. The struggles are different. The expressions of culture are different. But the desire to reclaim identity, that's universal. And TikTok, for all its chaos, actually gave people a platform to have that conversation in real time. People started doing side-by-side videos comparing traditional South African dress with the costumes worn at the parade. They started explaining symbols, colors, meanings. Suddenly, people weren't just angry, they were curious. And curiosity is how you grow. Now don't get it twisted. The drama didn't just disappear. Some people doubled down. Some refused to backtrack. You had folks saying, it's just a parade, lighten up. While others fired back with, there's nothing light about misrepresenting a whole culture. But at least now, people were asking the right questions. And if you've ever been on the internet, you know that's rare. Let's talk impact. The Zulu Parade controversy didn't just stay on TikTok. It hit the news cycle. It made people revisit the origins of Mardi Gras. It made people Google Zulu people for the first time. It sparked classroom discussions, barbershop debates, and Sunday brunch arguments. And perhaps most importantly, it made a lot of Black Americans ask themselves, what do I really know about Africa? Because for far too long, Africa has been seen as a monolith. One big place with lions and pyramids. But this moment cracked that open. It showed the depth, the nuance, the pride, and the pain that comes with being African, an African American. And look, we're not gonna solve 400 years of division with a few TikToks. But maybe, just maybe, this is how it starts. With uncomfortable conversations, with misunderstandings, with a parade that went viral for all the wrong reasons and ended up sparking the right kind of dialogue. So what's the takeaway? Culture is not a costume. History matters. And if you're gonna use a name like Zulu, you better know what it means and where it comes from. Because the internet is watching. And South Africans, oh, they will find you. And they will humble you. With facts, with pride, and with the full weight of their heritage. In the end, this wasn't just about a parade. It was about identity, about pride, about the ongoing journey of understanding who we are, where we come from, and how we show up in the world. And if that's not worth talking about, I don't know what is.